This is something to talk about, and today we're going to be talking about book kits with Tressa Johnson at the Kitsap Regional Library. Something to talk about is sponsored on the Bainbridge Island Senior Community Center by Fieldstone Communities of Bainbridge Island, which offers assisted independent living along with a vibrant memory care program located on the Rolling Bay campus up north of Bayhay and Feed. Well, no, I guess it's actually a little east of Bayhay and Feed. You can find out about day stay and respite programs as well. Call 206-594-1010 or email Ashley C, ASHLEYC, at fieldstonecommunities.com. You can also check out the website at fieldstonecommunities.com or come by for a tour. And we make a point of acknowledging that we are meeting on the ancestral homelands of the Puget Sound Coast Salish people, the Suquamish people, specifically the people of the clear salt water, who have been living in these lands and adjacent waters since time immemorial. We are grateful for their stewardship and their hospitality, and we honor them. Tressa, thank you once again for joining us, and I am super excited, as they say in the management field. I'm super excited about this. I'm super excited, though, about book kits because I'm a member of a book club, and getting the same book for the same folks at the same time is a real challenge. And so that's one of the scenarios I think you're going to talk about today. So thank you, as always, for joining us.
It is my pleasure. It's my pleasure. And that's exactly, book groups, I think, are one of the hearts of the library. I think we touch a lot of places in the community, and book groups at their best, whether you join a book group just to get out of the house, to have a glass of wine, to catch up on the latest gossip, or to talk about a book. I mean, book groups in their essential function is to build community, and building community through books. So I'm excited to talk about book kits. What is a book kit? So we have it's a hefty tub, a sturdy tub that includes 15 paper copies of a title, along with a set of discussion questions, a little bit about the author and a little bit about the storyline of the book. Our collection includes fiction and nonfiction. We have about 60 of these book kits available to the public. And it is a wonderful way, I mean, and you alluded to this, to have a group where everyone can get the same book, can be a real challenge. So this is how the library is trying to support book groups and support the community by making these available. And it's all free with your library card. And free, I guess, in air quotes, because we are tax supported. Our property taxes in Kitsap County pay for Kitsap Regional Library, all of the services that we provide. So thank you. Book kits, all of these kits are rather, they're a good size, and they do not live in our individual branches, Bainbridge Island, Paulsbo, Kingston. They actually live in Bremerton, kind of behind the scenes where I think the magic happens. So it is necessary to put in a reservation for the book kits. So in thinking about how to talk about it, I've created 4 different scenarios. So scenario 1, and I'm going to go over each one. Scenario 1 is you just want to know, you would just want a list of all the kits that we provide. You want to print it out, make copies for your book group, and so that everybody knows what's available. Scenario 2 is you've already seen that list, but there are a couple of titles you haven't heard of, and you want to just know a little bit about them, get the synopsis of their storyline. Scenario 3, you've chosen the book, but now you want to know when it's available. And scenario number 4, you have a specific date in mind and you want to get a book for that date. I'm going to go over all 4 of those scenarios, and then at the end, I'll show you the reservation process itself. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to share. Well, there we go. I'm going to share my screen. And so I'm going to start here. You can see in the upper left, krl.org. And then still on the left, I'm going to click on Browse, this teal button. And all the way to the right, More in the Collection. I'm going to go to Book Group Kits. And I'll click here. And this page, and I'm going to scroll down a little bit. This page tells you a little bit about the kit and the program. And there are a number of links on this page. They all take you to the same place. Kit Keeper is the name of the system that we're currently using. You can click any of the links that I am running my mouse over right now. So I'm going to click Browse Available Titles. So here we are on the landing page, and you can see there are 3 different ways that we can use the system. Scenario number 1 that I've listed out, you just want a list of all of the titles that the library currently has in the book kit collection. You can see number 1, this first thing says list. Click go to see a list of the kits. So I'm going to click this black button. Oh, and you can see just above it, we have 59 titles. I'm going to click go. And I'm going over to the right-hand side so I can scroll down. So this is a comprehensive list of every book, a little snippet about what it's about, a button to reserve this kit. And this is one way you can look at our collection and see what's available. But to print this page, it's 35 pages. It's significant, and there's a lot of wasted space. So if you go back up to the top, you can see in this first portion of the list that there are a number of ways that you can filter your search. If you click on all kits, you'll see there is just a list book by book. You can see all of the titles. But that's not what we want. We want to print a copy. You can look at all the authors. Here are all of the authors. You can click on all genres. Okay, fiction, classic, nonfiction. All info, this is what we want. When you click on all info, you'll notice in this vertical list, you can get all but description, but it's this button here, list. I'm going to click on list, and then I'm going to come over to the right and click select. And now I'm going to scroll down. So this is a bit briefer list of all of the kits, and to print this page is about 4 pages. And sometimes online there's a button, the icon of a printer that you can print. So I'm looking here for that. I'm going to the top and looking along the top of the page, and I do not see that icon. I'm going to go to the bottom of the page, and I do not see that icon. So that means I'm going to go up to the top just because it feels right. So if I move my mouse over to about the middle of the page, within this black line here, and on my mouse, if I right click I get this simple menu, and I can go right about in the middle where it says print. I will click print, and I can see here it's 4 pages. So that's how I know that it is brief. And we can use this to see all the pages. So this is a way that we can get a fairly brief list of all of our kits and get it to book club members. I'm going to click cancel here in the lower right.
Very helpful. 4 pages, much more digestible for everybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just so much easier. Now, scenario number 2, you've seen this list and there are a couple of titles that you haven't heard of. You want to know what they're about, just a little bit about them. So let's say I'm already here. All we need to do, let's say The Beekeeper of Aleppo. I'm going to come over to the right and you'll see these links over here on the right. There's one that says details. They're actually Big Lies in a Small Town. That doesn't sound familiar to me, so I'm going to click that one. When you click details, and then I'm going to scroll down just a bit, you get just that, that description. Okay. And to go back, to go now say this is not the only title that I'm interested in knowing about. If I go to the top, I can go to the main menu and we'll do that in just a moment, but I don't really want to do that. I'm going to come up to the upper left and here's a back arrow. If I click this back arrow, it will take me to this list, back to this list. So it's an easier way to navigate if you have more than one book that you're interested in. So I'm going to go to Carrie Soto is Back, and I'm going to click on details, and here I am. So it gives you a little synopsis. And if you decide you want to reserve it, you can reserve it right there. I'm going to go back to return, or I'm going to go to return to KitKeeper main menu, clicking this black button. The other way we can see a synopsis of the book, we looked at that. That was the first place we went under list. When you click go, you have that larger list, as I said, of all of the books in alphabetical order and description of the book. Okay, so I am going to go back to the main menu by clicking this black button. Okay, scenario number 3. You've looked at the list, you've checked out the storyline of the titles that you didn't know, that you wanted more information about, and you've chosen a book. You want to know when it's available. You want to know what its availability is. So if we look on this main page, the second option for looking at our collection is to make a reservation. So if you know the kit that you want, you click on this bar that says select a kit to reserve. And then and here's a list again of all of our titles. Let's say how much of these hills is gold. I'm going to click on this title. And then I'm going to click the black button, go. So this, you can see if this is a calendar that shows the following year. So it's from November 2023 to November 2024. And we'll scroll down. So the book is available in December. The kit is. And then it's available again at the end of April. So all you would have to do is click this reserve button, and we'll go through that process in just a minute. I just want to show you, this is how you can see, oh, well, it's not very available. So we're somewhat limited in terms of, here we are in November again, in terms of where it will go on the schedule for your book group. So that's how you want to, if you want to find out the availability of a book, that's how we do that. I'm going to go to the top of the page, but you'll see next at the title of every month, there's a button that says top. So instead of scrolling, I'm just going to click top. And here we go. And now I'm going to go back to return to KitKeeper main menu. Okay. Scenario number 4. You have a specific date and that you need a book for. So before we look into the collection, it's helpful before we go any farther to have a date in mind, right? So let's say you need a book discussion title for February. So that means that you want to distribute the book in January. So all of the members will have the book for that month. So that means, you want to have a couple of days to pick it up. So you probably want to make the reservation maybe a week before you expect to be picking up the kit. So now let me show you what I mean by that. So I'm going to scroll down on this main page. And here we have dates. You can see what kits are available for any given month. So let's see, we are going to look at, I'm going to click on this box and it gives me these months. So let's see, we said we want to read it in February, which means I want to hand it out in January. So let's click on January. And then I'm going to click go, this black button, go, January 2024. And I'm going to scroll down. So we can, let's say our meeting in January is January 16th. So I want to have the book approximately a week earlier so I have time to pick it up at the library. So I'm going to go to the 9th. And you can see as I scroll my mouse over each date in the calendar on the left, you can see the list on the right of the books that are available at that time. So because January is coming up, you can see there are not a whole lot of books that are kits that are going to be available. That's okay. So I want to pick up on the 9th, or sometime, the 9th or within the week. So I'm going to click on 9. Now all the book list on the right has turned into links. So let's see. So let's go. Carrie Soto is back. This is the kit I've chosen. So I'm going to click on it. And here we are at the reservation form. And the reservation form looks the same regardless of how you get there. Patron name, fill it out. Oh, look, I'm already there. So I'm going to click Tressa Johnson Waterfront. I'm not going to give my phone, but I will give my email address. And it's up to you whether you want to provide one or both of those. But the email is more reliable. Here's my library card number. I'm going to put that in there, my personal library card number. And down here, it says select a pickup library. I'm going to click on that button. And I am going to pick it up at Bainbridge Island, the Bainbridge Island Library. And so you can see the pickup date is January 9th. And the due date is February 24th, which is, we'll have some time to collect all of the books. And if all of the books don't get back to me and in that kit before I return it, and that's okay. When the book comes back to the library, tell the book group members just to put it in the return bin at the library, and it will be reunited with the kit in Bremerton. So we filled out this form. I'll click reserve this kit. And that's it. Congratulations, you have successfully reserved a kit. I'm going to scroll down. Great. Here's all of the information. and we are good. So I'm going to go back to Kit Keeper main menu because I do want to show you another kind of a little trick. I'm going to go to at the bottom, this black button.
I have a little question before, as you're getting to the
Please.
next spot, which is, so when I have reserved my kit, if
Yes.
I've never done this before, where do I look for it when I get to the library?
Thank you, Reed. We hold these kits behind the service desk. So when you have reserved the book, you get an email. I will get an email in this case to it will say your book kit's ready. And I go up to the service desk and I say to the staff person, my name is Tressa and I'm here to pick up Carrie Soto is Back book kit. And they'll get the kit, they'll check it out to you, and you're ready to go. So we don't keep them on the regular hold shelf.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, and when you return it, you same thing, just take it to the service desk and give it to a staff person, and they will check it in for you. All right.
Great.
Uh,
Okay, so you're going to take us back to the main menu.
Yes, I'm going to click on this black button. And I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom. Now you'll notice, so we've looked at all three of these navigational tools, but you'll see down here, help, my kits, or staff login. I want to look at my kits. And in this way, I can look at all of the kits I've reserved. I can see when they are scheduled to be picked up. And I believe I might be able to cancel them as well. Let's go ahead and take a look. I'm going to click on my kits and I'll put in my barcode. And my PIN. And I'll click this green button, submit. It's been verified. Now I'll click the green continue button. And here we are. So these are all of my current requests. And you'll see I can't cancel this one, the personal librarian. It's too late. I think it's already being sent to me as we speak. And I'm going to scroll down to the, well, let's see, where did I think I just
did, yeah, Carrie Soto, which says the book pickup date is August.
Well, that's not right.
I wonder if you were already planning to read it as part
That's
of the
so
Waterfront
funny.
Book Group.
I think I must have been, but it should be here because I just reserved it. This is a mystery, a Kit Keeper mystery. It's possible I'm going to go ahead and refresh this page. Let's see if that helps. Nope. Well, if I wanted to delete the reservation, this is where I would do it. I can't do it now. The reservation I just made has gone into the ether. I don't know. But it is very easy to delete. You can also click show. And in that way, I can see the details of the reservation that I've made. So
I'm guessing that this list, if you're looking at it and looks attractive, are things that the Waterfront Book Group will be reading coming up.
Yes. Thank you, Reed.
So a little preview, because Tressa facilitates a group here every month, and you can check the splash for upcoming books. But here's a preview or whatever. Yep, inside information.
You're the first to know. I haven't shared the 2024 list yet since it's not quite done. But yes, I facilitate a group at the Senior Community Center. It meets on the third Tuesday of every month at 1 p.m. we meet in person, but there's also a Zoom element. So if that is more convenient or you prefer Zoom, just let the Senior Community Center know. Their number is 842-1616. This book group, this discussion group is the highlight of my month. And I've been working for the library for 12 years, I think 12 or 13 years. And this was the part of my job that most intimidated me, actually, to lead a discussion. And it has become, I just love it. I think there is something about the opportunity to talk about the to talk about the book. I feel strongly that we can all read a book that has the same cover, the same title, the same words, but that book as a work of art is not truly completed until we bring ourselves to it. And we do bring ourselves to it. We read that book with our past experiences, with our what is currently happening in our world, what we're aware of, what our concerns are, what our joys are. And as a result, the book that I read, even though it has the same words and the same title and the same cover as the book you read, we'll get different things out of it. And I think that helps us learn more about each other. It helps us learn more about the human condition as we read these stories of fiction. We know from research that reading fiction fosters a sense of empathy in the reader. And I can go on and on about the magic of a book discussion and what it can be.
Well, one of the challenges if you are operating a book group is that to use this service, you need to think a little bit ahead. So, so you might, if you have a book group that assigns books, um, a couple months in advance, maybe you might want to try to go for 6 months.
Mhm.
And obviously there's a challenge that you might have to have a first and second choice or maybe a first, second, and third choice, because it looks like this is, with the example we gave earlier, a pretty popular way to reserve books.
It's very popular. And you can see by this list that I have reserved books for the Waterfront group through September of next year. And usually, actually, normally I would already have October and November. I'm a little bit behind this year, but I do make the reservations a year ahead of time. And it does require a little bit of forethought. As you saw, one of the reasons I chose as a scenario a date that is coming up soon is you can see there really were not very many titles available. And I will say also about discussion groups, I don't want that to stop people from using the collection. Um, Personally, I think that a book discussion group, as soon as we start talking about, well, who liked the book or what did people think about the book, the conversation ends, I think. Oh yeah, I liked it. Well, I didn't really like it. There's no discussion there. There's nothing to talk about. And I don't think as a reader, the joy of a book discussion group is maybe pushing your boundaries a little bit, or it can be one of the joys, pushing your boundaries a little bit, or um, finding out what some new things that new types of books that you might like, or maybe reinforcing the books that you don't really like. I tell everyone at the Waterfront group, if you didn't like it, don't finish it, but please come to the group and tell us why. Tell us what you didn't like. And I love it when there is a wide variety of opinions about a book.
Do you
That's
use the
when things get.
discussion? Do you use the discussion group questions when you're thinking about how to facilitate? Are they useful?
Um, I I find them useful as a starting point in my own mind. Um, I don't often use them as questions in the group, interestingly. What I've found is that the conversation starts to flow So I'll ask a question about the title or about the structure of the book, or maybe there's a choice that the author made that, I'll ask how does that decision, perhaps the book is epistolary, it's a collection of letters. Well, why did the author choose to tell the story in that way? And how does that impact the story? And the conversation starts going. And some people like some people might like it, some people might not like it. But what we're talking about is how that impacts our experience of the book. It's yeah, but
Hmm.
but those discussion questions are awfully helpful.
They get you
Um,
going and get you, and a few of them I'm sure might spark that kind of discussion that you're talking about, that is not just I liked it, I didn't like it. Um, and
exactly.
how often are there new books added, and how often do books fall off this list? It sounds like you said earlier there are usually about 60 titles in rotation.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there are about 60 in rotation. Now, every quarter, so 4 times a year, our purchasing department purchases about 3 or 4 new book kits. So they will add, so we have, 10 to 12 book kits every year are added to our collection. And at that time, we have book kits that are either really worn out, or they're not, people aren't checking them out anymore, and we discontinue those. We take them out of the collection. So you will see some changes. I think.
You said it was a mix of classic. I mean, we saw that, and so one of the things that the purchasers try to do is keep that kind of a blend. Some people
Exactly.
are. I mean, I saw Michelle Obama's Becoming in there, and I'm guessing that's probably been around for a little while.
Yes, yes. And sometime if the book kit is still, if people are still checking it out and using it, it will remain in our collection until it is either, until the book start ripping, or it eventually just sits on the shelf. But there are some older books, and certainly, Animal Farm, Fahrenheit 451. We have a couple of those classics in there as well, which are fascinating to read and talk about in these days. We
Uh-huh.
did that at the Waterfront um, book group, and yeah, wonderful reads.
If I have an idea of something that I think would be popular, is there some way to let the library know my suggestion?
Yes, there are several ways. One, I would love it if you let me know, because I love talking about books, and I'd love I'd love to hear what interests you. On the Kitsap Regional web, you can let any staff person know. There also is on our website a place where you can send us an email if you want. You can call us on the phone. Our purchaser is always asking staff for ideas and input. So I would love to hear some ideas. I share all of them.
Great. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for helping us make more out of our connection to the library. This is a great thing, and I know that my book group has occasionally, maybe twice or three times in the past few years, used the book kit. It makes it a lot easier at the beginning of the month for sure, but it
Yep.
does require planning, which
Mhm.
we aren't so good at.
Yep. That's right.
Thank you again, and I will talk to you next month in the
Great.
same space. We look forward to it every month.
I do too.